Oh, Captain, till we find where the treasure be. I see beyond the sea. Oh, Captain, till we go on a journey. Follow me, we shall go foreign.
I'm back. I don't know why I did it like I was. I don't know. We're gonna do this. I didn't even know. Alright, so first off, this is about how Riot's gonna monetize their MMO, which I didn't even know they were making an MMO. So, I'm learning stuff. If anyone knows what the MMO is gonna be, I'd be curious. Maybe I'll find out in this video though. So, let's see. This is by Shambits Gaming. So,
there aren't too many MMORPGs that require a subscription fee nowadays, with the main two being Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, which are both titans of the genre. They're huge. Now, it's hard to believe, but there was a time when paying monthly via a subscription was the norm for most MMO.
Man, WildStar had a lot of potential. I wonder if there's any like private servers for it.
RPGs, and free to play was the alien, unproven concept that no one wanted to try, at least for us MMO gamers in the West. It had been a thing in the East, in Korea MMOs for quite a while. Well, today we do know better.
I have played Fliff. I have.
And the free-to-play experiment that really picked up steam
Maybe I should try it
in the
again.
late 2000s has absolutely proven itself to be a far better business model, a far more profitable business model than the traditional method of just selling the game, which was the norm back then, as I say. It's so much better that many of the highest performing video games now use that free-to-play model, and many other games have been forced to adopt this model, even if they didn't want to. Star Wars: The Old Republic launched in December of 2011 and moved to a free-to-play model less than a year later in November of 2012. News outlets at the
I actually did really enjoy Star Wars: The Old Republic.
time were reporting that this was due to low subscriber numbers, which painted a pretty bleak picture for the game. However, EA put out a earnings report just 6 months later, stating that their average monthly revenue had doubled since it went free to play.
I should like
It wasn't just
download
Star
it again
Wars
and see
either.
what's going on
Lord
there.
of the Rings Online had pretty much the same experience, but they had a 400% increase in players, and that also led to their monthly revenue doubling.
I bet it
when they
would.
went free to play.
I bet it would.
Now, this is great for business, don't get me wrong, but it's not always so great for us as players.
No.
There are some downsides that
not.
seem to constantly appear in games.
I think
that
we
use
can
the
all
free-to-play
agree on
model,
that.
and these downsides are often referred to collectively by us as pay to win, or to a lesser extent, pay to progress. MMOs, even sub-based ones, aren't shy about advertising services that benefit the player in some way, and because MMOs usually have a ton of different activities that you can do, this also creates a ton of opportunities for the developer to make money from you.
Oh, look, it's
in
Capn
the form of
Crackers. I have them.
microtransactions. Things like buying in-game currency with real-life money, weapon skins, armor skins, mounts, mount skins, pets, toys, character slots, race changes, buying levels, emotes, convenience items, the ability to get married with another character in game. Final Fantasy does this.
That's actually something you can do in Elder Scrolls Online as well. J-Boy, what's up? I'm lurking, but the video sounds almost silent. Okay, let me try turning it up. Every time, I don't understand why it's coming through so quiet. All of the volumes are up. I'm gonna blame, I'm gonna blame, Dream Elements. I'm gonna blame OBS.
In-game houses, stuffed animals for your in-game house, furniture for your house, crafting materials, upgrade materials. There's so much that they can sell you.
There is.
And it's not like I even thought hard about that list. It took me about 30 seconds to put that together, and some of those are just off the top of my head. It's not even in the script.
Now there are some games like ESO and EverQuest 2. They they give you some of the in-game currency if you do the monthly sub. And there's some other benefits as well. Thank you, J-Boy. I appreciate it. I don't know what's going on with the sound. I'm probably going to have to turn it back down. It may just be the video, because honestly, he's kind of coming through a little quietly, even for me. So that may be part of it as well, just how he recorded it. But they give you some of the currency, and you get some other benefits as well for subscribing. I mean, I remember one year I was subscribed, they gave everyone a bunch of their trading card packs in game for Elder Scrolls, or not Elder Scrolls, EverQuest 2. And I got a house out of one of those. I was not expecting that. But it's a house that I don't have to pay the tax on. So it's always there as long as the game exists.
Now, you can argue that most of that, if not all of it, is optional, okay? And you never need to spend a penny on any of it. That is true. But studios need to make their money somehow. And those that go free to play have to rely entirely on these microtransactions to keep their business running, which can create some very aggressive monetization strategies that can pretty much ruin an otherwise good game. Lost Ark and Diablo Immortal are two very recent and obvious examples of good games being brought down by their invasive monetization strategies, which, whilst you don't have to spend the money, you'll want to if you want to enjoy the game and get the most out of them.
I can't even...
Other games...
I've got to do the video on Diablo Immortal, and I can't even bring myself to keep playing it. I actually tried to boot it up so I could get some footage and just go on and record for what I have, because I am very disappointed. But the game crashed immediately. Yay.
Games are a bit less aggressive, such as Final Fantasy XIV, which is almost entirely cosmetic based, and there's no need to spend additional money to enjoy the game in a reasonable capacity, as content isn't gated behind these microtransactions like Lost Ark with its upgrade system. Now, back in 2014, Pete Hines, the marketing lead for Elder Scrolls Online, attempted to justify their subscription fee by stating that it allowed the development team to focus 100% on content creation. And if they had chosen free-to-play instead, then a portion of the development resources would be spent on creating cosmetics for the store and not on content for the game.
They create
now, Elder
cosmetics
Scrolls
for the store
dropped their
anyway.
sub-fee model just over a year after release. And today, the game has a microtransaction store with everything from loot boxes, mounts, pets, houses, furniture, crafting tools, bank space upgrades, face paint, armor sets, and so on. A lot of these smaller things in there cost around £6, but the things that you care about, like mounts or player houses, can set you back as much as 3,000 or 15,000 crowns respectively. Now, of course, you can't buy 15,000 crowns, so you have to buy the 21,000 crown bundle, which will set you back a total of 110 real-life pounds to get that player house. At least you'll have some crowns left over to buy some furniture, because that player house doesn't come furnished. Guild Wars 2 is similar with its approach to cosmetics, but most outfits are about 700 gems, which will set you back around £8.50 real life money, with the most sought after items being around 1,600, which will cost you about £17, which by comparison doesn't seem so bad. I ripped on Guild Wars 2 in a previous video of mine. Comparatively, Guild Wars 2 is looking pretty good.
Spooky
Other MMOs also restrict players from key features unless you engage in that cash shop.
Look at the
Lord
bubbles!
of the Rings, as I spoke about earlier, for example, requires you to spend real-life money to use mounts and increase your gold cap from a measly baseline of 2 gold. Star Wars does something similar, but it's far more generous with a cap of 1 million credits, which is enough to get you most of the things you want. Although Star Wars does restrict content in other ways, such as rewarding you with less credits overall if you're not a subscriber. They don't allow you to quick travel as often, they restrict how often you can take part in PvP, and a few other things like that.
Yeah.
So how does this all compare to...
Sweet dreams, I love you, buddy. Mwah. Sleep well. Are all the bubbles from Final Fantasy? Man, I tried to play it. People have said it's a lot better. And I don't know. Maybe I'll try the free trial thingy they have going on again, because, I don't know. Not like I need another MMO, though.
What we know about Riot. Well, today, Riot have focused almost entirely on optional cosmetics and have not yet implemented any monetization systems in League or Valorant. that make it feel necessary to spend your money. Now, you could argue that new champions in League or agents in Valorant are exactly that, but the reality is they're pretty easy to unlock by just playing the game for a few hours. They also don't really go overboard with what they can monetize, pretty much just sticking to putting skins on things that don't impact the integrity of the game, even though they could easily go further with this.
They really
Dota 2,
could.
as an example, sells plenty of terrain skins that makes it easier to see past through trees, and Counter-Strike sells skins for their characters which give you an advantage in the game, which is not good for a competitive esport. And it's
really
not just Valve either, as Rainbow Six Siege had a similar issue with their Ember Rise and Elite skin lines. There's a person in this screenshot. It's very hard to tell when you're playing the game.
There is, right there. You see him? There's a dude right there.
In the moment. Now, Riot are yet to make these same mistakes with League or Valorant, and this gives me a lot of confidence that whatever we do get from them will have a minimal impact to the quality of the game. As an MMO, they seem to care about the quality and integrity of their games. Now, the downside here is that Riot does have a history of charging large sums of money for tokens that can then be exchanged for those cosmetics, which in my opinion is a pretty insidious way of tricking people into spending their money, as it's harder to keep track of what you're spending over time. However, it's industry norm, everyone does it, so I can't really fault Riot Games for this.
Yeah, a lot of companies do that.
Do
the worst is when you can buy multiple currencies, or that you buy one currency and you have to transfer it into a different currency to be able to get what you want, and at that point it's like it's impossible to keep track of.
Run their skins on limited availability, which preys on that feeling of missing out, right? Because someone will have a skin line that you don't have and you can't buy it anymore. So it makes you want to spend your money on something that you might not even wear, which I have done plenty of times, let's be honest. Now, just to give you an example of this, as I record this video, Valorant has the Xeno Hunter set available for purchase within the store, and as cool as these skins are, they are very cool. The entire bundle, which consists of 4 guns and a knife, cost 7,100 Valorant points, meaning you would have to buy the £90 bundle in order to acquire this set of 4 guns. Now, there are 17 guns in the game total, so you're looking at hundreds of pounds before you have skins for all of them. League skins, by comparison, are much cheaper than Valorant, but there are far more characters to buy skins for, and generally more things to spend your money on, such as rune pages, clash tickets, chromas, loot boxes, little legends, battle passes, and whatever else is there in the League client. There's tons of stuff. You could even buy temporary skins in ARAM. Now, acquiring skins
why would you buy temporary skins? That's what I want to know. Why would you buy something that's not going to be permanent?
Your guns and characters is completely optional and does not impact the gameplay negatively, at least in my opinion. So many of you may argue that this is not a problem, but as we've seen with other MMOs that we've spoken about already in this video, games that rely primarily on cash shops for their money often leads to cosmetics in the store that far outshine those that you can earn in the game, as well as a bunch of convenience items that solve problems which shouldn't be problems in the first place, which I don't personally want. Guild Wars 2 is really bad at this. So what do I think we'll get? Well, it's tough to answer this. I've spoken to a few people and they just say it will be like League and Valorant with tons of cosmetics. But MMOs are nothing like those games. The player experience is far more personal. You play the same character in an expansive world for several years, not just for 40 minutes or 50.
I suspect it depends on how far they go with it. If they go like WoW and you don't actually have player housing, then it's just going to be mostly maybe mini pets, mounts, and cosmetics. WoW doesn't do cosmetics too terribly often, but they do have some. Nice, you got it built.
Minutes if you're me in a game of League. I have the High Noon skin on 7 of my characters in League, and if they release a High Noon set for the MMO, I'm going to buy it. But I'm only going to buy it once, because I play 1 character, not 7. So where does this leave Riot, a company who has, through the sale of cosmetics, found themselves at the top, arguably, of the gaming world? Do they do what they do with Valorant and try to get players to spend £90 on 1 skin? Or do they progressively make better skins that supersede the old ones, so you spend another £90 on another skin? No, I don't think that's realistic. I think what is far more likely is that they will monetize more than just cosmetics. And that is why it's so hard to know what we'll get. I mentioned earlier that Riot seem to avoid monetizing anything that compromises the integrity of their game. It's the reason we don't have skins for Valorant agents or skins for the Rift in League.
What is that from in the background?
Sure, it'd make a ton of money, but the game would be worse for it as it would erode what those games are. It
Is
creates
that
a
a
gap
ship?
in
Are
the
they
player
fighting a
experience, which in a
ship?
competitive game is not what you
Okay.
want. You want that to be as close as possible. And as we've seen in this video, the vast majority of stuff that's in microtransaction shops for MMOs, and I'm yet to see one that doesn't do this, restricts the game in some manner in order to justify the sale of the solution, therefore eroding what that game is. Whatever it might be, the game is worse for it when that stuff is in the cash shop and not just in the game anyway. So this is Riot's problem to solve. We don't want £90 skins in our MMO, and we don't want £30 unbreakable gathering tools in our MMO either, or even £8 ride-in licenses so you can have something as basic as a mount. So what can they do? It's a tough problem to solve. But there is quite an easy solution here, at least I think so. And that is the subscription fee. Now look, I know they haven't worked in the vast majority of cases, but hear me out here. The talent in Riot's MMO team is extraordinary. So I do believe that whatever is released, whatever game comes from this, it will be a good game. I believe that wholeheartedly. I have no doubt in that. Riot also have very little...
I like how you pulled up several of them and they have all this art in the background, which I'm assuming is their art or art for games that they've worked on. And then you get to that last dude and it's just like an almost plain header. Like, okay. I mean, you stand out from the rest, I guess.
Little shareholder pressures, so I don't think the game will be forced out early or unfinished. So not only will I think it will be a good game, I think it will be a relatively complete game to a high standard of quality. Riot is also a huge brand with loyal, albeit sometimes toxic, fan base, and who will, at the very least, think about downloading and playing the MMO. Outside of that Riot fan base, there is a huge community of MMO gamers who are ready for something new, and they're looking for a shake-up in the genre, something new to try. So much so that games like Lost Ark, which are known to be predatory in their monetization, were hyped up before release. Now, these MMO players, for the most part, are used to paying a subscription fee as well, whether that's World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy, just to play the game, or if it's something like a VIP type system that we see in Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings. And finally, it's Riot. And it's an MMO. The hype for this thing will be and is already huge. And if anyone can get away with charging a subscription fee, it's going to be Riot Game. Now, as much as I'm an advocate for it, I actually do not think that we'll get a subscription fee. Riot have mastered the free-to-play model over the past decade, and I'd be surprised to see them step away from it. Even an upfront box price would surprise me, I think. Now, what is far more likely, at least in my opinion anyway, is a seasonal battle pass type system where you progress through 50 or so levels by completing in-game missions, like defeat 5 dungeons, kill a certain boss, win some PvP matches, you know, things like that. The rewards in that battle pass would range from character cosmetics, pets, mounts, skins, emotes, toys, and also currency for a dedicated cash shop. I think that cash shop will have limited runs of skinline bundles similar to Valorant, which you can buy unlocking, say, a High Noon set that consists of the armor, weapon skins, as well as some maybe emotes.
I do like that High Noon set. I wonder if there's like a pirate set. I wonder if there's a pirate set, y'all. What do y'all think? Have y'all played League of Legends? I've never played it. I have no idea.
And pets and things like that. I would guess these things would be around the £30
Is that a cowboy
mark
octopus?
And probably change each season.
That's amazing.
Pulling from the skin lines that they already know are successful in League, like Battle Academia or the Anima Squad, Star Guardian, High Noon, the Ashen Knight stuff, you know, things like that. They've got so much to pull from and deliver that I think it would be bizarre for them not to sell skins on those lines there. So anyway, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me?
Okay.
Put them in the comments down below. If you don't have any thoughts at all, then just throw an emoji down there, as it tells YouTube that you enjoyed the video, and it helps the channel grow. So you'd be doing me a huge favor by doing that. I also do try to respond to all comments, so I'll see you down there. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Alright. So, I still don't know what the MMO is. Does anybody know? Because I want to. I want to know. I'm curious. I'd like to know what they're doing. Not sure if I've played any Riot games. But I'm very curious.
I see beyond the sea. Oh, Captain, can we find where the treasure be?